Hello, crypto fans. How are everyone?
Hello.
Hello, Boris.
Hi.
People here can write us in the chat. We are going to be checking all the time that. So any questions, any comments, you can write it in the chat. So welcome. This is our first live on YouTube. Very exciting. We are using StreamYard as a testing. So if this works, we are going, of course, pay our subscriptions and start doing more.
I like this stuff. Come on.
Yeah, but it's working really well so far.
Indeed.
Like always, we are going to be touching many topics, but everything around airdrops. If you are a subscriber of the channel and if you are part of our community in Discord, you know how this goes. If you're new and you're seeing this the first time, our YouTube channel is Cryptocurrency State, where we are live right now, and we cover mostly everything around airdrops. So the first topic that I want to cover with you guys, and I will be sharing my screen and the same Boris with another topics, is that I want to show you how I think is the airdrop market space right now, because many things have been changing from the last month. 2024 started super crazy. We got a lot of claims in January, February, even last weeks. But the scenario of the airdrop, or how we are farming airdrops, how we are applying airdrops, is changing a lot. What do you think about that, Boris, too?
Yeah, definitely. Like just a couple months ago, I remember preaching all the best things about Cosmos, how Cosmos is the next best thing. Like everyone's getting thousands of dollars from Dymension, Celestia, and everything. And now Cosmos, what is Cosmos? Have a coin for 2 cents. Come on. Like, yeah, it's so dynamic. It changes on a weekly basis. And if you're out of airdrop space for like 1 month, you might come to a completely different landscape. So it is so crazy. But it's also great because those who don't keep up get left behind. And then there's more money for us who actually do this like professionally. So I actually like that kind of division personally.
Yeah, so I will share my screen and share with you guys some of the things that I have been recollecting and how I see the airdrop market right now. So I divided everything that we can do on airdrops in 7 categories that I want to go one by one, and what I think of these categories. Of course, put your comments in the chat if you have any questions on this or any comments. So I still think that we have this passive airdrop strategy. So this is one of the niche on airdrops. Depends on how much tokens you have staking in each protocol. Of course, as much money and tokens you stake, more rewards you will get on those airdrops. And you also are going to be more probably to get the airdrop. Like we saw with many protocols, one of the first ones to happen this was Saga, that you really need a very high amount of tokens staked to receive the airdrop. So this, of course, depends on how much tokens you stake, but still I think it's a valid strategy to do. I commented this many times. I am doing it with Cosmos, Celestia, Dymension, and Pyth. In the past, I commented on other projects like Kushida, but actually didn't do too much on that. So I am just focusing on these 4. We have more protocols that can enter in this category. For example, Jupiter and many others. But of course, you need to make your decisions based on how much portfolio money you have. So for me right now, I in these 4. Of course, thinking to enter some staking in Jupiter. Probably you're doing it. But this is the first niche, or let's say category, for airdrop hunting. For my perspective, I put this in green. Is it still valid? We just got another airdrop from Dymension last week, and you don't really need to do too much. Just vote on the proposals and keep your staking there. So
can I add something here?
Yeah.
Let me just add something. What about mode? You have been in mode airdrop as well, right?
Yeah, I received the airdrop of mode applying to different projects. Yeah.
Okay, but that was a good one as well. I mean, right?
Well, I don't think it was one of the best airdrops lately. In fact, the token is at position like 600 or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like I'd say, there are many other protocols here that we can start including. I don't know if for staking mode you already received one airdrop or not. Maybe that already happened. But for
No, I don't
sure,
think so.
okay. But maybe that happens, and yeah, in that case, you can add mode to this list. And of course, this list can grow a lot, but always will depend on how much money you have to put on this strategy, right?
Mm,
I don't recommend to only do this passive airdrop strategy because
Of course.
it's easy. That is why I put it in green and don't take you too much time, but you are not getting hundreds of airdrops for doing it.
Yeah.
Last year it was a little better. At the beginning of the year was a little better too. But
Yeah,
just for being
definitely.
basic, I think that is what is great about this strategy. You don't need to do too much. The second
Maybe we can answer. Sorry, maybe we can answer some of the groups from the questions from the chat.
Yeah.
So about wormhole, Andre is asking about the wormhole. Yes, this is probably going to be a great idea because when they enable staking, there's a lot of speculation that the whole Purple Alliance thing is going to actually be a very, very good airdrop because I think that Monad is going to be one of the biggest airdrops in 2024. So positioning yourself for the best opportunity to get passive airdrops from just Monad and maybe even active when they put testnet and that kind of stuff is great. So just keep in mind that Monad is in DevNet since March 14th. And as soon as they give us news for some testnet or stuff, I'm going to go against my religion and actually do some testnet stuff with Monad because yeah, this one is probably going to be really, really good. So yeah.
Yeah, like you say, I am also bullish on Wormhole, even if the token went 50% down. But yeah, you don't have native staking yet. I think that was one of the errors of the project, not having staking already when they did the airdrop. But when that comes, I think we are going to receive passive airdrop from them too. So the second is the specific projects, right? So there are a specific project with a confirmed airdrop where you need to do specific actions for the airdrop. In this category, I am not calling restaking airdrops, or I am referring more airdrops that are difficult to farm for a whale. For example, whale usually will have capital. They want to put money and just get an airdrop. But for example, in these 4 airdrops, it's not so easy to have the airdrop. You need to do a lot of things, and you need to keep track of the airdrop in order to maximize your possibility. For example, with Ether, you need to get bad sheets, and it was time sensitive. You only have like 20 days. You also can buy a node. That is something that a whale can do, but interacting with layer 3, with Galax, you have partner community bad sheets. So it was not so easy to do. You really need to pay attention. For example, in Galax, you will need to follow that like 2 weeks because you didn't get the points just completing one task. So for Fuse, there was another difficult things that not only having capital it will work. For example, one task is that you need to hold a specific token, a specific amount of tokens. So all that kind of stuff is like difficult for whales. They just want to farm very easily, just put in capital. And immutable, I think, is the best example. You need to claim daily gems, and you will not see a whale entering every day, each 12 hours, claim the 3 gems on immutable. Or playing games, which is another thing on immutable. So this category, I still think is one of the best categories for airdrops. That is why it's in green also. You will see less whales than in many other protocols. Now, we have the category 3, which is restaking airdrops. We know about this. Now, I think this is the worst category to be here. We saw what happened with Aging and too many other Ethereum projects for restaking. These are based basically on the amount of money that you put, and you get points in returns. These are full of whales. We saw what happened with Justin Sun, just putting millions on this protocol, getting millions in rewards.
$500 million.
We cannot even compete with that, and we really will not get too much. And I think you can use your capital in better ways. I mean, there are many restaking protocols, and not only on Ethereum. We have also that in Solana and other chains starting to appear too. So that will depend on the amount of money. So I put it in red because I don't recommend it. If you have thousands and thousands of dollars to spend, then it could be a good strategy. I did a video from like 3 days ago about this project Fate, and here you can just put Ethereum and participate on this eight Ethereum restaking project. So if you have a lot of Ethereum, you can do that, and maybe you get some amount of tokens. You don't need to do anything after that. So it's easy on that aspect, but you really need to have a lot of capital. A couple of thousand, maybe you will not get a good airdrop. Maybe if you participate on the round one, that could be your basic scenario. Yeah. But after the round one, everyone is going to be there, and it's going to be super diluted.
Maybe one thing for this, Eigen is not going to have any more rounds of airdrop, right? Or did I completely miss that? Because if it's just done with Eigen, then kind of no point to just keep staking with Eigen layer, right? As far as I remember, maybe someone in the audience also can confirm this.
Yeah, as far as I know, we don't have like another round, but you still can do it with many of the other restaking protocols.
Yeah, like EtherFi is gonna have multiple rounds. Swell is launching their layer 2. It's crazy, but yeah, not the best. Not the best.
Yeah. Let me know if we have.
We'll have next season. Okay.
Yeah.
So Eigen will have next season. Okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, the fourth niche or section that I comment here is bridges. I think this is still a very good way to farming. You actually can really do it if you use it organically, even, because you will need it for many of the other different niches on airdrop. So Wormhole, it was a good airdrop. Of course, we cannot have 100% people happy with the airdrops. Always it's going to happen something. But I think that they did a very good airdrop. They didn't announce anything. It was a surprise for everyone. So if you participate in using Wormhole, you get a decent amount. There was problems. People that participate didn't get any airdrop. I know that. It happened to me in a couple of wallets. But overall, I think it was a very good airdrop. We don't know what is going to happen with layer 0 and this witch hunt. But in a general term, we may be safe if we are not using 100 wallets. They mentioned 20 wallets as one of the civil rules. But if they do the things well, I think we will benefit on this. And we have Hyperlane and another very interesting bridges without tokens. Orbiter, I think they are farming us, but eventually I think they are going to launch a token, and the points is going to be the way to reward it. But yeah, bridges, I still think is a very good way to consider doing airdrops.
Absolutely. But just one thing about layer 0, they have announced their Sybil spreadsheet. So about 300,000 wallets are currently registered as Sybils on layer 0. And yeah, I mean, try to look for your wallet address there and pray that you don't find it. But yeah, the spreadsheet is actually live. You can check it on the official Twitter of layer 0. So yeah, I can't believe you put Orbiter. Orbiter is such garbage. They charge you a fixed fee for every transaction. It's like $3 or $4, like 0.001 ETH. Sometimes it's even $5 for every transaction. But yeah, Orbiter.
Yeah, Orbiter was one of the first. Was one of the first bridges to appear in the market for layer 2s and all that. I don't know why they didn't think correctly.
But we cannot forget Jumper. Come on, Jumper is amazing. Jumper is you use Jumper also a lot, right?
Yeah, it should be in this list.
Yeah, definitely. Jumper it has amazing connections and it gives you really good rates because it aggregates everything. But yeah, I'm really happy I see Bungie. Bungie is one of the better ones as well. Just guys, remember to use a little bit of this Socket technology because apparently Socket, the company behind Bungie, they're going to launch a token eventually. So we definitely have to keep attention to Bungie. And Wormhole, season 2, I think like 6% is going for season 2. So yeah, definitely got to do something on Wormhole. How do you farm Wormhole? Do you just use everything like the last airdrop, or do you do something new?
Yeah, I didn't. There was a couple of more partnerships with Wormhole. I think Blast now is using Wormhole. But yeah, basically any bridge that use Wormhole powered by Wormhole, it should be fine at this point. But like I say, many things I am using it organically. I mean, I don't expect Wormhole Airdrop to do it in June, for example. So I'm just using the bridges organically, moving into different bridges. Yeah, one thing of this list, guys, is that of course there's going to be more projects on each of these sections. I just put a couple so you understand the concept of how I see the market of airdrops right now. But of course, the list is not complete on any of these aspects.
Yeah, let's maybe answer some questions, if that's okay. So first of all, Amsterdam, I'm not using 1,000 wallets. I'm using way less, like 900. No. I'm being very, very conservative with my wallets. I'm reducing the amounts considerably because all the Sybil bullshit, I'm really scaling down a lot to focus more on volume. So no, I'm not using even 50 wallets anymore. So it's very, very small amount, like very small. And then let's see the margin fee. Margin fee. Oh, that's margin fees. Margin fee is a mess. I don't know what to tell you on margin fee. If they ever drop a token, then it's gonna be good. But yeah, too much drama. I've withdrawn everything on margin fee. So you can leave maybe a couple $100 if you believe that they're gonna reward some people who stay in margin fee. But I'm not really in margin fee anymore. And Andrei, for Hyperlane, you are super early. Hyperlane has just started their main bridge transactions like 1 or 2 months ago. So you are incredibly early for Hyperlane, I'm pretty sure. They are really new technology. They only came on the market maybe a couple months ago. So in only around March or April, people even started using it. And for Hyperlane, we're gonna go into more detail later because there are some really amazing bridges and strategies you can use for Hyperlane. The bridge is ICO. How much you spend on gas, that's how much, and fees, that's how much points you get. So I'm not a big fan of the bridge. I much prefer Mayan for Solana to EVM interactions. Yes, Amsterdam is joking. ZkSync, ZkSync is supposed to launch in late June. I don't know if you've seen, but there's going to be a kind of network upgrade for ZkSync. So we're supposed to be getting a ZkSync Airdrop probably end of June, because they're talking a lot about decentralization. And you all know what decentralization means. It means giving power to the community here. Enjoy. So yeah, we're expecting ZkSync near the end of the June. Okay, let's see what else.
I think that's it.
Nice.
I think update
sorry for the interruption.
To Wormholes. Yeah.
Continue.
Well, just want to finish the list and we go to more detailed stuff on different airdrops. So 0.5, and this is bring by Boris, and I am 100% on this. Perpetual exchanges. This is another place that usually whales are not going to be. Because it had the risk of losing money in the trades. And it's difficult for us to, if you're not a trader, you probably not want to go into the perpetual exchanges. But if you take some losses, even if you don't do it 100% well, you may get these airdrops in a good position too. And Boris covered it in one of the videos just last week, so you can check that. A full strategy on these protocols and many others. All these have a point system. This is the new stuff, the point system. But it's always in these perpetual exchanges, so it's not easy for whales to participate, or any people that doesn't know anything about trading is going to be hard. And there are many anti-Sybil rules. You cannot just open a trade and close it immediately. If you do that, probably you're going to be banned or consider a Sybil on the airdrop. So probably you need to have a couple of minutes the trade's open. And I just want to go to the last two very quickly, and then we go to questions about this. So the 6 is a testnet free. So I cover many testnets. I think that could bring us value because some are under the radar. But testnets I put like an orange because it's risky too. You may not have an airdrop. Some of them are openly incentivized testnets, so that's supposed to mean that for doing the testnet, you are going to receive a reward. So it's more recommended to do those than other airdrops in testnet that are not officially incentivized. But you still are in risk of interacting with the protocol on the testnet and not getting an airdrop. There could be many reasons for that. Some of the reasons are because then they launch it the mainnet, and if they have like a DeFi ecosystem around them, they may want to you get liquidity into the protocol to get the airdrop. And sometimes when this happens, the work that you did in the testnet is not going to really affect the airdrop. Maybe it's a multiplier, and that happened a lot. So in testnet, it's better to be using incentivized testnet that are publicly that, or for example, Vechain, that I consider that they could give an airdrop, even if it's not confirmed, of course, but they have hundreds of millions in funding. So I can see Vechain rewarding testnet users. Again, this is not confirmed, so you could do work on the testnets and not getting anything. The other side of this is that it's free, guys. So if you have time, you should be doing a couple of testnets. For example, imaginary ones, I cover it. It's very easy to do. They did the first airdrop for the NFT holders, but we are still waiting the one that I covered. There are many incredible projects in testnet phase. So I think you should pay attention, knowing the risk of having or not the airdrop. And the last thing that I want to mention is this under the radar projects. This could be also in testnet or not, but these are of course more risky in terms of not getting any airdrop on the future. It's too speculative. But example of these airdrops are very new projects with a CLI, but without even a testnet, or can have a testnet, but nobody's talking about them. For example, I covered Fade 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I think it's an amazing project, and in the timeline I put 5K users were doing it when actually it was 500 only. So you need to use a little capital, but the project is amazing. Actually, using AI for DeFi restaking. They also have the restaking that I mentioned before. The same happened with Ether. I mentioned it in another categories, but again, this is very under the radar. They have hundreds of millions in funding. They sold hundreds of nodes. So they actually are about 100 million in money right now. It was not very easy to do for Waves, like I mentioned before. So these under the radar projects, I still think are very good opportunity. I want to focus on that also in my channel, the videos that I do. But of course, you are in a risk of not having an airdrop. Fade had a point system, so that means that you have an airdrop probably, and you also have a point system. So in this case, those two projects should do an airdrop and are still under the radar. Ether ends at the end of May, so this is pretty much done. But Fade, you can enter here. Well, that is all. These are the 7 sections or niches that I see which happen in airdrops right now. You probably know already this, but I think to have it visually in front of your eyes is super helpful, and you can like make your strategy based on these categories. All these, guys, is going to be on the links on the description after the live, so you will have all this Excel file information in the post on the descriptions where it says video link here. You will have everything in my post. Go to you, Boris.
Okay, I will just answer some quick questions. So somebody asked if there's a channel for the, what was it, for Ether. So I don't think we have a channel specifically for Ether, right? But in the case of not having a specific channel, we can always just use the general or new airdrops tab. So somebody will definitely answer in that section. We have a very active Discord, so there's rarely a situation that the question goes unanswered for more than a day. So yeah, basically, regarding everything, thanks Santiago for a very comprehensive overview of what's going on currently. We're going to try to keep the live between 35 to 40 minutes maximum. So to get on point, the stuff that I'm doing, I'm just going to share my screen really quickly. Basically, when it comes to perpetual dexes, I am mainly focused on the ones that are giving me the biggest amount of returns. So, for example, Rage Trade is a great platform that you can generate two-in-ones, because DYDX is a platform that gives you incentives for trading on the DYDX network, and Rage Trade is basically like an aggregator for everything, all the different perp dexes. For example, I was trading on Hyperliquid before May 1st. On May 1st, they have removed the whole points program, so there's no point to trade on Hyperliquid anymore. So Rage Trade has recently introduced their points as well. So Rage points are a great way to do a two-in-one with dexes. Zeta is almost finished, so if you want to do the final sprint for Zeta, be my guest. It's interesting, but my biggest focus is starting to shift into Orderly, because Orderly is probably going to be a very, very nice infrastructure play. A lot of different perpetual dexes are being built using Orderly technology, and I really think it's going to be one of the nicer airdrops in 2024. Okay, let's just move quickly into the list. Come on, can I? Okay, there we go. Am I still sharing my screen, or has it finished? Okay, yeah, I can still share screen. Before we go into specifics of Hyperlane, let me just find the list that CC2 Ventures has posted a couple days ago. Guys, how many of you know who this legend in Airdrop's world is, actually? CC2 Ventures. He's posting incredible stuff when it comes to airdrop farming. Like, absolutely great strategies, great techniques, great routes. I'm really impressed with his way of doing things. So maybe we can go really quickly around this. First, let me check. Santiago, can you check really quickly so that don't loop the screen? Is there any specific airdrops that the community wants us to go through? Maybe something a little more difficult, technical. Is there anything more specific that people want to do? If not, I'm just going to go through this list really quickly.
Yeah, let's go with the list, and guys, put your comments. You want to check some specific airdrops. We have this amazing list that Boris is going to review, but put your comments if you want the specific airdrops.
All right, yeah. So if you've seen the video, we talked about the current May strategy. This is almost identically aligned with what I've talked about before. So Scroll and ZkSync, those are the two projects that I really think are the best layer 2s to focus on right now. Obviously, if you haven't started anything on ZkSync yet, it might be a little too late now to start. But if you've done interactions over the last 2 years, then definitely continue pushing those buttons for ZkSync, because even the last moment button pressing can make a big difference. If you get qualification for May and June, that could be a difference between maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 5-figure airdrops in the end. So definitely don't fade ZkSync. There are many things that you can do in ZkSync. For example, I really like to use Jumper when I use ZkSync to bridge between ZkSync and maybe Arbitrum or all the other chains. But yeah, other than that, Izumi has a points program, and they're both live on ZkSync and on the Scroll networks. So if you're going to be using some ways to farm Scroll in ZkSync, definitely use Izumi Finance, because they have a weekly points. If you swap between $50 to $500, then you're going to get extra criteria for them. Scroll has also come out with marks, so you probably know that Scroll sessions are live, and you have some retroactive marks from interacting on Scroll over the last couple of months. But now, by holding liquidity on Scroll, and in the future, we're going to get specific dApps to use to get the most marks for Scroll. Definitely keep up to that. Definitely keep up to date with this kind of stuff, because this is going to be the difference between getting the most out of Scroll network and Scroll airdrop and not. The reason why we believe Scroll is going to be great is because they've literally said that the part 2 of the year is going to be big from the founder. And that should signal potentially airdrop, especially with the marks points. It would be incredibly deceptive if they don't launch a campaign, airdrop campaign, after points. Okay, let's go quickly into the whole Hyperlane and Hyperlane technology. So I don't know if you know this, but recently Merkley has added the token bridge for the Hyperlane network. So you can bridge between many different Ethereum layer 2s. They keep adding new ones. Keep in mind that the cheapest transactions is from Arbitrum to Polygon. So if you want to go from Arbitrum to Polygon, it only costs like $0.50 or something like that. Yeah, it's 50 cents. It is not that fast. So going from Arbitrum to Polygon is fast, but if you rotate this, it's going to take like half an hour. Polygon is cheap, but super slow. Keep that in mind. Then other routes include like Base is like 80 cents. Oh, $1 now. And the most expensive one is usually to Mode. This is like, okay, not anymore, but going back to Mode, yeah, this is like nice. Yesterday, this was $5. Okay, anyway, yeah, there are many different routes to use. And guys, one thing about bridging, don't do Sybil activity when bridging. This is incredibly important. You cannot do like half of ETH, like $1,000, $2,000. You just send from Arbitrum to Mode, and then 2 minutes later you send from Mode to Manta, for example. That is an obvious Sybil behavior. When you use bridges, make sure to do something with these funds on the destination chain. There's a wrong and right way to farm bridges. This goes without saying that if you actually bridge funds somewhere, make it look like you're not just farming bridge airdrops. Do something with these funds. You can move it after half an hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour, it doesn't matter. Just don't do 50 bridge transactions in half an hour. That is obviously Sybil farming for volume. So make sure not to do that. Okay, let's go through the list again. So this is Hyperlane. Are there any questions for Hyperlane? Maybe let me check
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah, we had some questions to cover Hyperlane. You were doing it. We also have questions to talk about Zora. Cubic, I commented a couple of things in a video. You will get a meme coin if you stake Cubic tokens in their official wallets, but not much to talk about Cubic right now. So let's talk a little bit more about Hyperlane, Zora.
Okay, good. So yeah, another thing for farming Hyperlane, you have this use Nexus bridge. So if you go here, use Nexus, then this is the best way to send funds from Arbitrum to, for example, Celestia. This one is powered by Hyperlane, and these are the main two things to do for organic Hyperlane farming. You're going to need a Cosmos wallet, obviously, and that's basically it. You can send funds from, for example, Arbitrum to Neutron, and then from Neutron to Celestia. You do something with this TIA on Celestia network in Cosmos, and then you can bridge back. Also, you can send from Neutron to Manta, so make sure to use as many different chains and interactions as possible. With bridges, you just need to use a lot of volume. If you spend $20, $30, that's pointless because the fees are like $3 to $4. Try to send a couple hundred, ideally a couple thousand, or at least $1,000 when you farm these bridges. Because for Wormhole and obviously many other bridges, the more volume you use, the better. So that is just something very important to understand. Okay. And for Zora, we are actually in the process of organizing an Enjoy farming group, kind of, because to get 500,000 Enjoy tokens, you only need like $75, $80 at current prices. It is really, really cheap. The token is very, very down, but if you're farming Zora, you need to also use this Enjoy. Basically, if you buy 500,000, then it's like $80. And every time that you are buying an NFT on Zora, you can tip the creator. And this is kind of like Workcast and Degen. It's basically the same thing, but it is probably going to be a multiplier for eventual Zora airdrop. And for Zora, it is super easy to do. You only need to buy a couple NFTs every month, ideally 2 per week. And then you also need to mint your NFTs. If you have a community that will actually buy your NFTs, we have created a Discord, separate section in Discord, like a different channel where we are buying each other's NFTs. This is kind of risky, but if your NFTs actually get traction and get sales, that can also be a multiplier for Zora. So that's my strategy for Zora. Buy NFTs, create NFTs, and Enjoy to tip people on Zora. There are the 3 main pillars of everything.
Great.
Okay. And maybe
we have questions about Scroll. You already mentioned Scroll, the new campaign, super important for our perspective. Base, what about Base? Base, we have a very hype season. Now it's a little low.
Yeah. Well, for Base, honestly, I just use Base organically. I love to send funds to Base and from Base because that way you organically get volume for the potential Base airdrop. But there's not really many dApps that I'm actively interacting on with Base. I just use it when I farm bridges, like Merkley and Jumper. These are the 2 main ways that I actually farm Base airdrop. because the routes from base and to base are super cheap. If you send from ZkSync to base, it costs like 30-40 cents. So that is amazing if you use Jumper. And many other bridges are very, very cheap to interact with base. Even Stargate. If you think that layer 0 is going to have multiple airdrops, it's good to actually use base in different ways. Okay. Maybe if that are all the questions, let us quickly go through this list just to see. Of course, Mayan, it is the best. I love Mayan. It's so great. It costs like 30 cents to send from Solana, $2,000 from Solana to EVM, 30 cents. It's beautiful. It's actually beautiful. So yeah, this is a nice 2-in-1 because this qualifies you for Wormhole and Mayan potentially. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the bridge. Yeah, so some Solana airdrops, you have mentioned Sanctum. Sanctum constantly rotates the experience points. It's kind of a whale game at this point, but there are very nice 2-in-1s. For example, Stakey, Helios, and Volti. These are the 3 amoebas on Sanctum that you can actually get very nice multipliers. So, for example, Stakey has a specific airdrop program, and then there's also Healy. Healy said that there are people who stake with Helios SOL going to be super happy. And then there's Volti. Apparently, Volti is going to have an airdrop campaign as well. So yeah, some exposure, a couple SOL in this Sanctum is also not the worst idea. So there's that. Really quickly, of course, Ambient. Ambient is one of the best things on Scroll. Izumi is great on Scroll, and then SyncSwap. We are waiting for SyncSwap airdrop for almost 2 years now as well. So hopefully that's going to cook as well. And yeah, if you're still doing Eigenlayer, then I really like Zircuit because it's just a simple way to employ your EtherFi or your usual tokens. And of course, main focus. It's like he's looking in my notebook and writing Twitter posts. It's ridiculous. Anyway, yeah. If you're
Elixir is one that we never commented, but I did a video about Elixir. I also think it's really under the radar. So you can go and do that airdrop. They have millions in founding too.
Yeah. Elixir plus Sui. Apparently, there's a lot of stuff going on in Sui as well. So I'm going to be researching this a lot in the next couple of weeks. And Ton, Telegram Open Network. Can we just talk about the elephant in the room real quickly? They are in top 10 crypto by market cap. Telegram Open Network, Ton Coin. That's so crazy. Apparently, there's a lot of airdrop opportunity for Telegram ecosystem as well. So I will be researching that in the next couple of weeks as well. There's, of course, Aptos. He mentions LogX, Orderly, super easy to do. But yeah, my focus primarily Hyperlane, PerpDexes, and last couple interactions on ZkSync, plus a million others. But for that, we talk strategies in our Discord. So yeah. Maybe one last thing. If there are no questions, can you tell me if there's other questions along the line? Let's see.
Yeah, guys, please click the like button. This is our first live. We are super happy doing this.
Yeah.
So show your support with the like button. Yeah, I think we should be covering Ton Telegram network a little more. It could be huge.
Yeah.
I personally didn't invest because again, it's in the top 10, so I am not sure the percentage of exits that I can do, but it could be huge. There's no project similar to them. They have 1 billion users, something like that.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's
so
crazy.
We cannot compare it with any other chain.
No. But yeah, I will just wrap up with one last thing. The layer 3 airdrop is already finished, but this new kind of layer 3-esque strategy has to do with Merkle. Merkle is kind of like, if you don't have a lot of capital, then it's really good to focus on this kind of stuff because it's very cheap, but you're super early for Merkle. They recently just launched their incentives, and if you get these M badges, which are super easy to do, like you just go, for example, in what's the one that I actually had on this one? For example, if you're farming Hyperlane, you can simply get these badges by getting, it's like $1 in costs, and you can just join Discord, add your email to Merkle, and that super simple stuff, and you are participating in their airdrop. I think that not a lot of people are doing this because, as you can see, only less than 5,000 people are collecting these badges. So it is an incredibly underfarmed opportunity. And I think a lot more people will jump into this very, very soon. They will have their snapshot very, very soon. So make sure to do this today or tomorrow before the snapshot criteria goes. As you can see, there are many different ways to get this. But first thing you need to do is you will need to mint here on the top. You need to mint your ID, and then you just do basic stuff. basic interactions with this. Super easy to do. But yeah, of course. Yeah.
Great.
So yeah, this is definitely something maybe I would close on this one.
Nice. So we have a question about Avalanche. My perspective of Avalanche is a great protocol. Didn't have the hype yet. Probably it's going to happen. We have the hype on many chains. I am not aware of any airdrop from Avalanche holders or anything like that at this point.
Yeah.
But for sure, it's going to have their moment, like many other chains. Yeah, just to, we are already 40 minutes, so we are going to wrap up. Guys, remember to subscribe to the Discord. Of course, we try to cover everything that we can in YouTube, Twitter, in this live stream, but we are super active on our Discord. So if you want to be with us like more actively, we have the subscription for the Discord. And today I wanted to show my application too that I created. The last update is that you can get announcements and notifications on your email. And I was about to use the app and do, for example, Vechain. So I wanted to show a little bit how this works. I have many wallets here, so you will use it to farm airdrops if you want. But in one of the wallets, you can add your airdrops. And let's say that I want to do Vechain. So here you will be able to write if you want to see if an airdrop is here on my app, or you can create your custom apps here and use my application for that. So I think the great thing is that if you're seeing another influencers, my app is going to help you anyways, because you can add those airdrops here. So when I click and add the airdrop of Vechain, you will see here all the steps that you need to do for the airdrop. The ones in green are the ones that I already completed. And here you have all the tasks. You are able to add tasks. So this is posted one time, but as the airdrop continue progressing, you can add more tasks here. So you just check what you need to do here. First, check my previous coverage, but in this video, in this airdrop, you have everything. So the first thing is to get the faucet. So we go here, we connect the wallet, we get the faucet. Once you finish this, you just need to click it as done. And all this is based on your activity on the dates that you are farming your airdrop. So you can see when you did each of the tasks. And if you have this symbol, this means that this is a recursive task. You need to do this more than once. So that is why you can use the alarm and you will get the notifications in your email to do this task. So there are many more details on my Airdrop application. Of course, you can leave comments for yourself here, and you will see the comments on your reminder too. You can create your custom airdrops, like I mentioned, but this way is really easy to apply to the airdrops, guys. You have everything organized here, and then you just enter to the wallet that you are working on and to the airdrop that you are working on. And with the last update, you get the reminders 2 times per week on your email of what airdrops and tasks you need to still do in that week. So just wanted to mention it. It's part of my subscriptions too, if you want. The prices are really cheap. I saw another airdrop hunter influencers, and really, I think our prices are the cheapest. 20 for the monthly on our Discord, 100 for the annual subscription, 40 for the monthly subscription, Discord and app, 150 annually for everything. So yeah, that is all, guys. Any last comments? Any last questions?
Okay, take this seat for a second. All right.
How many PIT do you need to have staked, Michael? I have around 600 on that. I get into that number over time. You can start with 400 maybe, but less than 100, I don't think it's going to work.
Maybe to just for this whole, we oftentimes get questions, how much should I put into this? How much should I put into that? If you're bullish on that ecosystem, maybe the best strategy is, what we usually recommend is to have one big wallet, maybe like over 1,000 Pyth staked. Then you have like a medium wallet, maybe 500 Pyth staked, and then 250, and depending how to kind of spread your risk. Although, as we said, this area changes a lot, and you kind of need to have more and more volume for everything. So you need to be very specific about the airdrops you're gonna have. So yeah, if you have capital, maybe best to allocate it either in one big wallet or one big wallet, one medium, one small. It's generally the strategy for Pyth staking or anything in general.
Okay, guys, 45 minutes. I think this is time to close it live stream. Thank you everyone to participate. Let's see how this go. Maybe we can repeat this another Saturday or another day. But of course, again, if you want to be with us, you need to be in our Discord. There we are most active. And of course, follow the YouTube channel and you will get airdrops there. Thank you, everyone. And yes, we are going to cover more about Fuse. There's Fuse is only until the end of the month too. So don't sleep on that. Thank you, guys. We see you.
Thank you so much for coming.
The Discord.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.